Welcome to today's broadcast. No matter what kind of day you're having, please remember that God is big and God is good. He is bigger and better than you think. Mature trees are more important to me than my house. I can rebuild a house, but I can't grow a big tree. And God has used my trees to teach me about kingdom living. So I want to share with you this very practical illustration of just how radically different the kingdom operates than does the world. My illustration takes place in the spring of 2012. We had been experiencing severe drought conditions in our area since the spring of 2011. During the summer of that year, I had noticed several trees starting to show signs of distress, and I thought out loud, this simply cannot be happening. So I had decided to pray. But I hadn't prayed just one prayer. I had prayed for every distressed tree I could see as I walked around the timber. And I'm not talking about a general prayer. I walked up to every single distressed tree and prayed for it. And as preventive medicine, every big tree was also prayed for, even if there were no signs of distress. I did this throughout the fall and the winter. I say this neither to impress you nor to make you think I'm nuts. I say this to show you my passion for trees. And ever since the weather had started to warm up, I had anxiously watched the trees for signs of new leaves. The date was April 17th, 2012, and my heart sank as I noticed just how many trees were not leafing out. I finally had to admit to myself that hundreds of my beautiful trees were dead. They weren't going to snap out of it with the warmer weather and the spring rains. There had been no spring rains. The drought actually continued until early in 2013. My trees were dead. Here's the entry from my journal for that day. This morning, as I was tending to the burn pile, I was looking at some of my distressed and some of my, from all appearances, dead trees. God began to speak to me in thoughts, which I will paraphrase. I want you to train yourself to see life when you see something dead. Later on, he said, I don't want you to avoid looking at things that are dead. I don't want you to pretend or imagine they are not dead. I want you to look at something that's dead and see life. What the heck was he talking about? I began to put together scenarios in my mind. Look at lack and see abundance. Look at problems and see solutions. Look at despair and see hope. Look at sickness and see health. But I knew he was not asking me to go into an intentional state of denial. Can you imagine my confusion when these events occurred? In the middle of my grief, God spoke to me about something that made absolutely no sense at the time. My most important material possessions were dying right in front of my eyes, and God was asking me to see life. I realized that I would never be able to make any sense out of this from a worldly perspective. This had to be understood from a kingdom perspective. And I'll have to tell you the rest of the story on tomorrow's broadcast. For more, visit givethatmountain.org and have a great day.